Hello, Canastota. I'm Sean Becerra, Superintendent of Canastota Central School District, and this is the weekly video update for Friday, October 16th. Once again, we have some big news coming out of the school this week with the announcement that Robert Street Elementary School will be returning to a 5-day per week in-person learning schedule. Again, students in grades 4 through 6 in Robert Street Elementary will return to a 5-day per week instructional schedule on Monday, November 16th, which is the first day of the second marking period. Students currently enrolled in the fully remote schedule will remain in a remote schedule through the end of the first semester. I want to continue to emphasize the fact that all, I repeat, all safety protocols are being maintained as we transition Robert Street back to a 5-day per week in-person schedule, as well as the previously announced plan to transition Peterborough and Southside to a 5-day a week in-person schedule that will begin on Monday, October 26th. This means the same strict cleaning and sanitizing protocols, the same strict adherence to the established social distancing standards, and the continued wearing of masks. Please understand that bringing students back is not an easy process, but we believe it is the right thing to do at this point. It's not easy because it means that in many cases teachers are having to rearrange their instructional spaces to maximize capacity, and in some cases it means that their specific assignment may be adjusted to meet the needs of our students. It also means that our transportation department is busy making adjustments to ensure that our bus capacity remains within the state guidelines. I appreciate all of the work of our staff members who are solving problems and finding ways to get the job done in a tough, challenging environment. And if you get the chance, please thank them for all that they're trying to do to help our students return to normal. Now, I'd like to bring you up to speed on our search process for the Southside Elementary School principal position. I'm pleased to report that we've received over 30 applications for this crucial position, and we are in the process of completing the screening process. Committee interviews will be occurring next week, and we're on target to appoint a new principal in early November. This translates to having the new principal starting in the district by early to mid-December, if all goes right. I really want to thank our interim principal, Sharon Kirsch, for doing a terrific job holding down the fort in this transitional time. I'll continue to update you as the selection process unfolds in the next few weeks. I'd like to wrap up this week's update by revisiting our recurring segment about how to maximize learning. In recent weeks, we've talked about the impact of exercise, music, and diet. And today, I'm going to talk about specific trends in the world of education that impact how students learn. Several years ago, I had an opportunity to work with a man named Gary Marks, who was one of the most intelligent people I've had an opportunity to learn from. Gary was a futurist. His area of expertise was looking at how a variety of factors interact to create emerging trends that impact society on a large scale. He traveled to over 80 countries and to every state over his career that spanned over 5 decades. One of his books was particularly interesting to me as a person who works in education. It was called 21 Trends for the 21st Century. And in this book, he outlined major categories and areas impacted by world trends. These areas include technology, demographics, economic, environmental, political, and yes, educational spheres. So what did he conclude were trends that we should be prepared to address in education? The major trends he noted could be summarized in a few words: flexibility, personalization, and relevance. Every student does not learn in the same way, and therefore flexibility is needed to adjust learning opportunities to be more meaningful and impactful to students. Marx also noted a concept that Harvard's David Perkins calls the relevance gap, having opportunities to learn and engage in areas that are interesting, exciting, and related to what is important in life. Sometimes we make things more complicated than they need to be. Do we really need to have a Harvard professor tell us that if students are interested, excited, and see relevance in what they're doing, they'll do better? We shouldn't have to, because it simply makes sense. However, it's also helpful to be reminded from time to time of the fact that getting back to basics and building a strong foundation is the most important thing we can do in our schools. Oftentimes, people, both adults and students, say that they don't see school as relevant to the real world. Well, we have a great opportunity to address that concern. Canastota Central Schools is actively working on several exciting, innovative projects that will allow our students to connect the dots of their learning in meaningful and exciting ways, and that will allow them to connect to the broader Canastota community. In the coming weeks, I look forward to sharing with you some of the unique opportunities that our students will be able to participate in as the year progresses. And yes, these opportunities will be available even in the crazy COVID-dominated environment we all find ourselves in. These opportunities are exciting in that they do not exist in many schools. And having these opportunities will set us apart from other communities, because after all, we don't want to be like everyone else. We expect to be the best, since we are Canastota, the hometown of champions. So if we want to create a great environment in which students can learn, we need to make sure that they have an opportunity to see relevance in their learning and allow them to pursue learning that is exciting and interesting to them. Someone who is excited about learning is going to be a better learner. We know this. Relevance means connecting to our local world, including the local economy and social organizations. In the coming weeks, we're going to share with you specific things that Canastota Schools is working on that you and your child can be excited about. Until next week, let's stay positive, stay focused on working in partnership with one another in the interest of our students. Have a great weekend, and go Raiders.